Well, hello. I thought I would catch up with you today with a wonderful background. I am up in the mountains, a few hours drive away from home. I've left relative warmth and sunshine there. And when I arrived here yesterday, it was nice and warm too, but today is very cloudy and blustery. Well, blustery is not the word. It's a bit windy, but I'm on the veranda and I'm going to knit here for a while. Where it was blustery is where I was fishing this morning, and I was going to do a video there, but oh my god, it was blustery on the water. And I took my special fishing rod, which is a really nice big fishing rod, so I could really cast out, but I was casting into the wind and it was quite comical really, and all I caught was seaweed. It really was cold up there. It's about 25-minute drive from here, further up the mountain, and it's got a funny mountain at the side of it, and it only gets sunshine later on in the day. And I would normally make a fire, but because there's been some massive fires in Norway, I didn't want to risk it today, even though it would have been really safe there, but I didn't want to risk it. So I got a bit cold and decided to come home, and as I've only brought soup with me for a few days, soup and cheese, and a bottle of wine, I was really looking forward to being able to eat some trout, but I've knocked that on the head, and I'm here with a cup of coffee, and I'm going to knit and talk to you because I've had a few messages that I've not been doing any videos, which I haven't, just because I've been busy writing, to be honest. I write, and I also do some volunteering in a Norwegian charity shop, a little bit. So, I mean, that's only one day a week, so it doesn't take a lot of my time, but I have been working hard writing. And it's been taking a lot out of me, if I'm honest. Anyway, firstly, I've told you I'm up here in the mountains for a few days by myself, which is really nice. This, you probably can't see it from there, but it's a jumper I'm making for my mother-in-law. She won't watch this, but if you know her, shh, don't tell her. It's made from the most beautiful, soft baby alpaca wool. It's Norwegian wool. No, it's mainly baby alpaca, but also merino, so it's really, really soft. And if you watch my first video where I made myself an alpaca sweater, as nice as that was, that wool didn't do as it was told, and it ended up extra large. I still wear it, but this one, I don't think my mother-in-law will want to wear a tent. So after doing the gauge to this, it seems to be doing as it's told, so fingers crossed. It's I don't know what you know about knitting, but it's a bottom up sweater, and it's a fair arse sweater, so you do the kind of body in the round, and then you stop as it gets to about here, and then you knit the two arms separately, and then you attach them all, and then you do the colour work around here. I make it sound so simple. I actually really enjoy it, but this part is simple, so I can talk while I knit, but when I get to the colour work, I don't talk at the same time. So, right, what was I saying? My writing. Yeah, it's coming on. I suppose what I want to talk about here today is something which was the basic premise of my book, which has changed and grown and adapted and evolved. But the basic premise was about manners and different cultural values, and ways of showing respect and politeness. And I've experienced a few times talking with Norwegian people, very friendly discussions, and also in podcasts and TV programs, the way they often talk about maybe being perceived by other people in the country as a bit cold or reserved, although I think cold and reserved are two different things. Also, when I mention about English manners, and they kind of roll their eyes a little bit generally, but one thing I've heard quite a bit of, I was speaking with somebody the other day, and she said, if you come, not specifically me, just general you, come to Norway expecting pleases and thank yous and sorries, then you're in the wrong place. Which I agree with. There isn't a lot of that. Even the word, or one of the words for please in Norway, vær så snill, is rarely used, and it's seen as excessive certainly if you use it more than once. But yeah, what was my point? Yeah, pleases and thank yous, you're in the wrong place. And then she went on to say, and I've heard this a few times, is Norwegians value privacy and respect of distance, which I agree with. I don't argue with that, and I really enjoy that. And then what is often said is, compared to English manners, which are sometimes seen as kind of perfume politeness, kind of smell nice and cover something up often. Rather than that, Norwegians value authenticity. And at first glance you think, oh yeah, that's really nice. And then it's usually said in comparison to English manners. And I wondered if there's kind of something implicit in that, an implicit criticism of English manners or English people being inauthentic or fake in some way. And I've considered this, and I wondered if I'm just being defensive, and if I'm being defensive, is that because I'm being fake? Am I being inauthentic? Something I generally pride myself in is being authentic, but am I being inauthentic and fake by being well-mannered? It's a sweeping statement, that. I know, because yes, some manners, English manners, are pretentious, but I'm not so sure that manners are in general. So, for instance, somebody said to me the other week, the way that Norwegians in neighbourhoods show respect is by being, particularly on a Sunday, very quiet neighbours. You don't operate electrical machinery in Norway on a Sunday for fear of, I said for fear of offending the neighbours or upsetting them. But generally it's supposed to be about respect. Whereas I think this particular Englishman shows respect by being polite and well-mannered. So, please, thank you, sorry when appropriate, holding the door open for somebody, letting somebody go, when you flash your lights in the car and let somebody go. When, I go over a crossing when I'm walking and the cars stop for me, I just do that. I don't run up to the windscreen and scream thank you at them. I just either smile or just raise my hand, which I've never experienced Norwegians do. It is something, if I'm honest, really irritates me. I've experimented with this, with not letting people go in the car, and I've experimented with not smiling or just lifting my hand to say thank you when I cross the road. And on some embodied level, it's just so difficult. It feels deeply disrespectful to not acknowledge somebody when they've stopped their car for you. whether it's my right or not. I know they're supposed to stop for me, but on a very human level, I don't even look them in the face. I don't even know if they acknowledge it, but I acknowledge it. And for me, on a human level, that isn't fake to me or inauthentic. Yet Norwegians do see that as being excessive. I am excessive in my use of manners. So that's the dilemma for me. It's about kind of finding who I am here in Norway. Finding a balance, really, between what is kind of, if it is possible, to find an organic and intrinsic me in a different environment which value different values. They have different values. There are elements that I've experimented with and I enjoy. For instance, in England, I would always smile at neighbours, always say hello, just out of, I think, obligation, really, in some ways. Some neighbours I got along with, but even the ones I didn't, I smiled, kept good relationships with the neighbours, as you do, as we English people do. That doesn't really happen here, not in my experience, and the other Norwegians I've spoken to as well. No. So what I quite enjoy is getting out of my car on the drive, seeing it, and not having to say hello, not having to smile. To walk down the street, not having to smile at everybody is quite freeing in some ways. Yes, you lose something because you lose that kind of, occasionally somebody will smile back and you have this moment of just humanness and like an emotional touch to your day, even from a stranger. So you lose that, but there is a freedom in not having to bother as well. So I am adapting in some ways. I think I will struggle with the other aspects, for instance, crossing the road and being in traffic and letting people go, or not being let go, by the way. So I sound like I'm having a whinge today. I might be, because there's wonderful aspects of being in Norway and some wonderful aspects of Norwegians. But it takes time, Yeah, I don't really know what I'm saying here. Yeah, moving to a different culture at my age anyway comes with many challenges, and writing about them in my book has brought up many things that I thought were really resolved many years ago, and actually they're just there under the surface sometimes. You think those neural pathways have withered away, like an old path around a field. If you don't walk in it, it tends to wither a bit, and I thought those neural pathways weren't there anymore, but I find myself revisiting past events triggered probably from feelings of vulnerability sometimes in a new place, and my language, although is better, I struggle to communicate with real nuance yet. I likened it, I say that I can play the piano. I don't play particularly well, but I can. And I think that's where I am with Norwegian. I can speak Norwegian, but I'm picky about who I speak it with. So for instance, if there's more than a couple of people, I tend not to speak Norwegian. I tend to be quiet, really, which is quite nice, I'm sure, for others. Certainly is for me. But in more intimate settings, I speak more Norwegian because I feel more comfortable. I'm saying a lot of what does that mean? I think it's just a little pause, giving me time to think. And I know I could edit this video if I wanted to, but I kind of want to just offer it as I am. I don't want to, polish things too much. Yeah, that's what it is. So you can put up with the ums and the ahs and the whinging if you want. I hope I'm not whinging. I'm really enjoying my time here. Came yesterday and just pegged it here, didn't stop anywhere, and got here with a big backpack, soup, cheese and a bottle of wine, and yeah, and changes of clothes and toiletries and things like that. A bag of knitting and my writing stuff. So what I'm going to do after this, I am going to, I think I might go in and set a fire, and I might sit by the fire with my computer and do some writing, and then I'm going to leave technology alone and I'm going to read. I am reading Young Mungo at the moment. Forget his name, Alistair. Scottish guy. It's an amazing read and I can really recommend it. If you don't like it, I'll eat my hat. It's brilliant. Right, I'm going to go now, and if you got this far, well done. And I'll probably put the thing on saying like and subscribe. Please feel free to comment. Apparently I'm supposed to say that. I think commenting helps the channel. I'm not really sure about how that works. But if you've got anything to say or ask, then please feel free. So now I'm going to turn you off.